what I miss? I really miss the golden age of animation. You know what I mean? Like 2D animation, it's just wow. Don't get me wrong, 3D animation looks good, but like you just can't beat the classics like Princess and the Frog, some other ones. But I think we can all agree, Anastasia is like such a good movie. Like, don't you remember it? You know, you had the girl who lost her memory, the enemies to lovers plot going on, and then her family being instruments. What's that? That didn't happen in the Anastasia movie. Well, it happened in the one I watched. Oh, you've never seen it? Well, you're gonna see it today. Pause. Before I give you a little backstory on this movie, I just gotta give you my backstory of like why I even love these types of movies. So growing up, my grandmother would buy me tons of tapes for my VCR. And this was one of the tapes I had. She was literally the old lady in the store that you would have all these knockoff movies, and she would buy them all and give them to me. And she's the reason why I just adore bad movies, because I've had the greatest time growing up watching all these movies. So to my grandmother, mwah, I love you. You're the reason I'm the way I am today. Let me just start off to say this movie, I don't think this is necessarily a bad movie. I hold this movie so fond to my heart. Like, this is such a great memory for me. But despite not seeing the other Anastasia movie, I kind of know a little bit about it. I do know in the Fox version, I think it's a girl who, something traumatic happens. She loses her memory. She doesn't realize she's a princess. And, then she has her little love story. There's some magic going on. She finds her family, the end. This movie's about the same, except there's a lot of things that are not explained. And then another thing that's absolutely hilarious about this movie is like the time frame to think about it. This movie's not really long. I believe this is like a 25-minute movie, which that's not even a movie, that's an episode. But anyways, in the original Anastasia movie, it kind of feels like you can see the story's progressing. It's probably taking place like within some months to maybe like some years. This movie feels like it all happened in 1 week. It just, everything just kind of happened. And if you just think and like as you're watching this review, just think of this movie happening within 1 week, it makes all the actions the character takes, even funnier than it should be. So let me stop talking. Let's get into this movie. So the way this movie starts off, we get our little cheesy introduction. It's introducing all the family members. And then you have Anastasia. Now, this is something that has really been irritating me, and I didn't realize that until rewatching this movie as an adult. But Anastasia in the original, I believe, hits her head, and it's like, okay, you can kind of see why she like got a little concussion. She forgot, her memories. In this movie, Anastasia like is pushed to the corner and cries. And for some reason, that has made her lose her memories, and she doesn't know her family. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay, we'll go with that. Maybe we'll say it was a very traumatic event, because when it starts off, it is a war going on. Her family is being evacuated, which, why did you not take Anastasia? We just gonna leave her? Because she's not the only child. She's got an older sister and an older brother. Those are children. Are they going to war? What's going on? But anyways, Anastasia, she gets left behind, and the sheer shock of this and the trauma, it leaves her mind gone. Like, she can't remember anything that happened. She doesn't even remember, the fact that her family just left her there or even crying. But you know what she did remember? She remembered how to sing. Because when we cut to the next scene with grown-up Anastasia, when I tell you that she know how to sing, in the and yes, I forgot to mention, this is a musical. I do think the other Anastasia is a musical too. Its music's also a banger, but like the music in this movie is it's funny. So anyways, now we got our true opening. We're with grown-up Anastasia. She's singing with her instruments, and for whatever reason, she's just so upset randomly, just thinking about I don't know who I am. I just feel so lost, which Girl, I'm going to assume she's like 18 to 20. You should have felt lost for all those years. Why are you all of a sudden now upset? But you know what? Whatever. And also, look at this house that she's in. This dilapidated house is a hot mess, but look at Anastasia. She looks pretty good. She looks clean. Even the dress she has on, it's not even like dingy. Sure, she got little patches, but it looks fine. And it begs, the question, how have you been surviving? Because you're looking really healthy. What you been eating? Have the instruments been helping you hunt? Like, what have you been doing, Anastasia, for like these past few years? But anyways, while she's up there having her moments, we cut to outside and we have the Secret Service or the Secret Police. They're looking for Anastasia and they just know that Anastasia is in this house. Why they've waited so long to come get her, because clearly she's been in this house for years, I don't know. But they just know that at this very moment, Anastasia, she is still in this house. And so they break into the house. They bombard into the house. Anastasia and her instruments, they nearly make it by jumping out the window. And to be honest, listen, like, if you look at this movie logically, it doesn't make sense, because jumping out the window, they should have fell flat to their face, but they just they glide, the little curtain, it stretches 10 feet and flies them over on people's roofs, which I'm like, all right, I didn't think we can do that. Am I reading a little too deep in this cartoon movie? Mayhaps, but I'm still correct. That doesn't make sense for this curtain to stretch out like that. But anyways, they escaped the secret police, and I have got to say, the mama, the harp mother, she is so brutal and so funny, because Anastasia starts to cry and her response is, we don't have time for that, we gotta go. And during this tears, Anastasia is like revealing she's never been outside the house before. Like, this is her first time like even seeing this neighborhood. So again, how did you survive for so long? What you been eating? What have you been doing? Are we just supposed to believe this nice looking lady was just out here in this house and never left, just surviving, thriving? Okay, like maybe she was eating some rats or something. Let's just say that. So, Heart Mama gets her on the train, and obviously Anastasia's still crying, but for some reason these instruments are acting dumb, and they're just like, why are you crying, Anastasia? What's wrong, girl? Like, why are you not happy? And clearly she's not happy because the Secret Service is after her. They bombarded her house, and she's on a train as a runaway, and at any moment she can be thrown off. So like, not really a whole lot Anastasia should be like saying yay about, which I know I forgot to mention the characters. I'm so sorry. These are her family members. We're supposed to act like, oh my gosh, this is such a surprise, but look at the instruments and look at the picture of her family. Like, come on now. Even when I was a kid, I knew that was her family, and I was surprised that she did not know. Like, just when Anastasia, when she woke up or whatever happened, when she stopped crying and she saw these talking instruments, was she just okay with that? Was she just like, yeah, that's normal? Definitely, instruments talk all the time. Like, this isn't Beauty and the Beast. I'm kind of getting all over the place. I'm sorry. Like, I go on one tangent and it leads into some other ones. So back to the plot. While she's on this train crying, the suitcase starts talking to her too, and it's telling her not to cry. And I'm thinking, oh my God, is this another family member? It is not. No, it's a man in the suitcase. His name is Vladimir. He's clearly the romantic interest. He's looking for Anastasia on a train in a suitcase. So, clearly he's a very smart man. But him and Anastasia kind of get into this little agreement where essentially he's her sugar daddy. Like, just listen to this arrangement.
Princess, I'd take you to Copenhagen, put you up in a nice hotel, pay for your meals, clothes, everything, and train you.
So now we're gonna shift scenes now. They have exited off of the train and they're at a hotel, and a couple of funny things happen at this hotel. One, Tuba Daddy threatens a hotel employee.
Careful, young man, or I'll have you fired.
Oh my God, what is that?
Two, the siblings, the cello and accordion, they order food and eat it, which that leads to more questions of, I'm sorry, your instruments. How do you eat? And do you digest that food? And when you digest it, does the food come out? And where does it come out at? Like, you get what I'm saying? There's some questions going on. And don't think like they was just eating something like cute. These people run up Vladimir's paycheck. Vladimir comes in and he has his little song. It's kind of like, To Be a Princess from Princess and the Pauper. And side note, he came into her room to help train her to be a princess with a whip.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
They go to the little ball. This is kind of like think of it like the interview, the meet and greet. Anastasia is here to meet these people, which, first of all, why are these people allowed in the ball? These look like peasants. Like, why are these people allowed to be here? Look at this man. He's wearing a Detective Gadget jacket. Like, sir, can you leave? Look at your hair. Why are you mean mugging me? Look at you. Anyways, Anastasia meets with like the little advisor. She's got to go through her first little trial. And he's like really mean to her. He tells her that she's a fake. All of this, her dress is cheap, hair looking bad, she got split ends, and Anastasia does what Anastasia does best. But don't worry, Tuba Mama is here to be mean again, because she just tells her, like, girl, remember who you are, go back out there and let him know. And so Anastasia, she dry her tears and she goes back out there and she exposes him.
That you bear the same ill-mannered disposition today that you did at my 5th birthday party in the Imperial Castle, when you refused to participate in my candle lighting ceremony and instead snuck off to the servants' quarters in order to drink half a case of my father's best vodka.
So yeah, the people, because they really messy. They love a little bit of mess. So they ate that up. Anastasia has passed the first trial, but we got a new character. We have Prince Paul. Do you notice anything about Paul? Any similarities between Paul and any other characters? You see his bird. Do you see the characters he's hanging around? Do they look a little familiar? No. Paul's the secret police, if you didn't realize that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Spoilers. Paul introduces himself as her fiance, and Anastasia, she's just smitten. She's like, wow, he's so hot. And honestly, no. That's a 5 out of 10. I would have popped the balloon on him. Anyways, our next sequence is we see Anastasia. She's going on dates with Paul. Vladimir, he's watching. I forgot to mention that. He's also like her bodyguard. So he wines and dines her, gets her dressed up, pays for her place to live, and he also protects her. That's a pimp. Anastasia's out here doing her thing, and they end up getting into an argument, Vladimir and Anastasia, because clearly they're supposed to be romantic interests, and we haven't seen a whole lot of romance going on besides Anastasia and Paul. But they get into it because he's upset that, hey, first of all, don't be forgetting about my money, because like I said, they have an agreement. And so they get into this argument. He leaves. She goes in her room, but she starts crying like she do. And then he gets jumped. And then all I'm left wondering is, Vladimir's also supposed to be a part of like the military or whatever for Anastasia's family at once upon a time, or still is. And all I'm thinking is, where are the rest of his comrades? Why is he walking around alone anyway? If he knows that, like, it's not a secret that the secret police wanted Anastasia to be like, because clearly they got her family. So why are we allowing Anastasia and Vladimir to like just walk around without some other bodyguards? Where's the rest of your men?
Where's the rest of you?
The next day, Anastasia goes with Paul to go meet Grandmama, and she's like the final boss. Like, if Grandmama don't like you, then you're not Anastasia. And you know, shockingly, Grandma has not liked anybody. Nobody has made it past, you know, the final boss level. They've all been kicked out, and Anastasia goes in there. She tries to act overly familiar. She tried to give her a hug, everything, being so sweet. And Grandmama goes off on her. I'm sorry. She tells her to get out my face. You a trick. I'm not playing these games with you. That dress is ugly. Like, I know you're a fraud. Bye-bye. And, you know, Anastasia does the Anastasia, and she runs out and she cries. For the first time ever, Anastasia doesn't need Heart Mama to be mean to tell her to, like, hey, stop all that crying. Anastasia herself, she starts singing, you know, from her heart. And it's very good. It's in a very emotional scene that moved me to tears. And I think it'll move you to tears as well.
This cannot be. It must not. I order you to stop.
Though the fates have torn us apart.
But no, this scene's kind of funny, not because of her singing or Grandmama screaming with her raspy voice to stop. The funniest part happens after she's done singing, when Grandmama goes to hug her and then Prince Paul comes to hug too. Like, I'm sorry, who? This is a me and my grandmama hug, not a you too. We didn't invite you. But anyways, Anastasia has beaten, you know, the final boss. She has now proven that she is Anastasia because she sang a song. And it's then revealed again, although I'm pretty sure he already said it the first time, but Grandmama reveals, yeah, this, now you and Paul can get married. And she's acting like, what? We getting married? What you mean? It's like, girl, he said that. He said y'all was engaged as kids. What did you think was gonna happen? This is Russia. You was gonna get married to him as an adult. But anyway, she's acting surprised. She goes back home, and her and, you know, Vladimir, they have another argument. And during this argument, he has a black eye. And she has not once asked him, like, are you okay? What happened to you? No, it's just me. And Vladimir leaves. She actually don't cry this time, you know, because she got her a man. So she's getting her stuff together. The instruments are trying to tell her, like, especially Heart Mama. She like, girl, you kind of changing. We don't like this new you. And Anastasia basically gathers her and tells her, well, if you don't like me, then you can leave. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting Anastasia to turn into a villain. I'm kind of here for it because it's about time that she started, you know, standing up for herself and, you know, stop crying. But anyways, Anastasia goes on her little date with Paul, and the secret police come into the restaurant and they just take her. Paul says, listen, you just listen to what they say. I'm gonna come get you. And Anastasia gets dragged out of the restaurant while all these people too, because there's a lot of people in this restaurant. She gets dragged out, screaming for help for Paul, and everyone's just watching like, oh, well, look at that. So Anastasia's gone, but do not worry. The accordion brother was there. Why was he there? Because he was there to eat. Again, why are these instruments eating? But accordion brother saw her get kidnapped. He then tried to help save the day. He clearly did not. So he goes back to where Vladimir is. Vladimir's at the house. He gets a call from the I guess the police or the other bodyguards, and they're just like, hey, Anastasia's been kidnapped. Which, once again, where was the rest of y'all? Why is Vladimir the one man that you're calling to do this? Send the SWAT team. Like, what's going on? But anyways, Vladimir's on the phone, and this is when the instruments decide to reveal themselves to him. So Heart Mama, you know, comes over to him to see, you know, what's the deal. and she traumatizes him. Look at that face.
When? How? But what about the police?
What has happened to Anastasia?
Oh my God! What is that?
While all that is happening, Paul actually reveals himself to be the villain to Anastasia. And I don't know, it was just really satisfying. She was sitting here acting all high and mighty for a hot minute, being mean. And then she is now tied up to a chair looking stupid. And then Paul has this little song. I can't lie. It was a little cute. He was kind of eating that.
If you want the picture of a charming prince, I take the cake. But now you find me all the more alarming since I'm charming as a rattlesnake. That I never would know. Treat me like
Vladimir and the instruments, you know, they go to the place where they're holding up Anastasia. And I gotta say, there's literally 2 bodyguards standing outside the warehouse looking very suspicious. You think they just standing here, just stand here? No. But anyways, they go in there and some type of way, Paul and the instruments, they take out the secret police.
Get them! Get them!
The secret police got guns, but we got instruments, and they take them out. I also believe at one point, one of the instruments, I'm pretty sure, probes a dude. Vladimir, he goes, you know, they got to have their moment. Vladimir and Anastasia, they reveal that they're in love with each other, which, again, imagine this is all taking place in a week. 7 days they have known each other, and they're in love with each other. So, yeah, they're in love. Paul literally jumps on Vladimir, and they're just kind of rolling around in this warehouse. And all I got to say, nobody helps to try to, like, help Vladimir while they're just rolling around. They're just horse playing is what it looks like. Anastasia's screaming like nothing's happening. What are you doing? Help. Instruments. You literally just probed a man. Probe Paul. What are we doing? But anyways, Vladimir and Paul fall out the window, and it just so happens that this warehouse, the back side of the warehouse, even though the front is like a nice little busy street, the back of it is some water, like it's a river. Vladimir is holding on to this rock for dear life, and don't worry, Tuba Daddy and the accordion, they jump in the water to save him. And yeah, Vladimir falls all the way to the bottom of the ocean, and the instruments are able to swim to the bottom to grab him, which, again, let's look at this realistically. This tuba should have sunk. He should not have been able to come back up. He's going down into water. The water should be rushing into him, holding him down. But they're able to lift up Vladimir. And also Vladimir, he touched the water. He was probably in there for 2 minutes. And the man is gone. So, okay, this fragile man touched water and he fell out. I would hate to be his wife, because that means you ain't taking no shower. They pull out Vladimir, and like I said, unfortunately, our king, he has passed on. It's at this moment that the instruments finally reveal to Anastasia that they are her family. And they let her know that she has a power that actually no, she don't have no powers. They have a power, but only she can activate to save Vladimir. And she has to sing.
I will be with you wherever you are. Distance can keep us apart.
Anastasia sings. She saves Vladimir's life. Her instruments, they just noped out. They're like, yeah, it's good to see you. We're gone now. We could have told you we were your family, but we're not going to do that anymore. And Anastasia and Vladimir were left to, that they're living a happy life. She got her money. She's the princess. He's now probably like a prince. He got his money too. And he got a boo thing. And yeah, that's how that movie ends. And like I said before, it's not a bad movie. It's not bad at all. But it really starts to not make sense the more you look at stuff that happens. And I know I kind of rush through that because I do want you guys to go experience. It's a short movie. It's not a whole lot to talk about. And I can't even lie. Even though it's 25 minutes, it goes by fast. Sometimes it's a little boring. But yes, I just really love that movie. It just fills me up with the power of love and friendship and instruments.
And so General Vladimir Vasilyanov Ikonovich and Her Imperial Highness Princess Anastasia Nikolaevna Romanov lived happily ever after. And how many accordions do you know who can say that?
That's kind of all I got for this one. This was a quick little video. I've been wanting to talk about this movie, and I probably filmed this 3 times, and it did not look good. But I hope that you enjoyed this. You guys love the Dwegan one, which I hope that you watch that. Share that with your family. Share that with friends. Share it with a loved one. It'll help you get like some love in your life. This right here, it'll manifest some money. And if you like this, do all that YouTube things that you're supposed to do. And I'm gonna go now. Bye.